On black holes. All right. Black holes are where the gravity from one of those cores and the surrounding suns pulling and pushing it, crushing the matter down, gets to such an extent that that core, instead of flying off and becoming destabilized and just being shot off to become a new sun core, inverts. It inverts along the gravity axis into the neither realm, or I don't know exactly how it's tricky. It might be chaos. It might be uh, whatever, but it's space or it's nothing. But anyway, it inverts along the gravity axis, and it pops into its own pocket dimension, and it might cause space itself. It might be like a type of radiation, like the sun has radiation because it's so large. It produces light. The atom core in the sun is so large that that the surface is continuously plasma. It constantly is trying to rip those atoms apart, and even though it's never successful, because the force it requires is much greater than it. I mean, it's partially successful because the surface of the planet is the surface of the sun is constantly in flux. It is constantly in what do you call it? Constantly in uh, plasma state, where the electrons are being ripped away from the atoms themselves and flung out, and it's constantly on fire. But that's a reaction from the atom core itself. The atom core is actually the cause of the heat from the sun. The atom core is the cause of the heat in the sun, as it is in the planet Earth and the moon and every other planetary object that has gravity. Oh, guess what? The what do you call it? The the vacuum in space is caused by all the planets themselves. That's why we don't have any air in space. So that's why there is a space of vacuum around us, and for a large quantity of the universe itself, there's no air in space because there's planets. Yeah. So, depending on the size of the atom core, that depends on what it does. Like the size of the atom core in our sun causes it to have a constantly uh, fire or plasma or flux. the the electrons are constantly being pushed away, and protons and neutrons are being pulled towards the center. And this is how it works. And by the way, the tests, there are tests going on now. Like there was a physicist that dropped two ladders, and it was so cool because once one of the ladders connected with the desk, the gravity field that was in the desk was transferred to the ladder, and that ladder actually fell faster than the one that didn't hit anything. So the ladder that hit the desk collapsed onto the desk at a faster rate than the ladder. They were two rope ladders, and this just goes to prove that the gravity field is a field that is created by the core of the planet, like a magnetic field. It is induced. So a magnet, if you hold a magnet up, the iron filings, if you fling iron filings at it, the iron filings will build up in a spiky pattern. And it's the same with the sun. The sun has these spiky patterns and wavy lines and stuff like that. It's just different. It's a more fundamental uh, field uh, than magnetism, because magnetism is like the child of gravity, along with the capacitive field.